Hello and welcome back to Penguin Projects. In today's video we're going to be making Feywild terrain because in my upcoming game there's a big mushroom forest and I want kind of that Feywildy type terrain, so big mushrooms, big kind of plants. I have some fun things coming up, like using glow in the dark paint for most of it, so it's going to be a fun one. Now I've already actually made some of them because I started making them and then realized like this could actually be a fun video. So I'm going to show you how I made the ones I have made, and then I'll get to painting these. This is just a ceramic mushroom I got from Deals, and then some 3D printed ones and stuff, and then twigs and stuff. I'll show you how they're made, and I think this is going to be a fun one, especially with some lighting effects at the table with the glow in the dark paints. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So without further ado, let's hop over to the workbench and let's get started. As I said before, I have made some already and primed them, but I'm going to show you how I went about making these. So I'm just using this 3mm hardboard that I've rough cut into shapes with my scroll saw. And then I'm just coming in with super glue and cork to try and make these flat rock formations, just to add different levels and kind of, break it up a little bit. So they're just these cork coasters that I got for cheap. I think it was like €2 for a pack of 6 of them, and they're very handy to have. Then I just have these decorative rocks and some sand, and then I'm using wood filler as the base texture. So just using a stick to kind of smear that on. I'm going for like a kind of wet mud look, so I wanted to kind of layer it up and just have it streaky, and then I'm just dashing pebbles on, putting some sand on it, just again adding to that texture. The wood filler I'm using as well also dries extremely fast, so it's very handy and takes paint really well. Then for the foliage, I got this from Deals. It's like, I don't even know, like a decorative plant, but it's all plastic. I'm just snipping off these kind of shamrock looking things, and then I realized you can just rip them from the core that's holding them together, and then you get these really cool stems. But you could use any kind of artificial plants you could find. I just went for something that kind of had stalks or that I could paint up to look a bit otherworldly. So I think these were a great fit for a kind of Feywild look. And then snipping off the stems and I'm going to glue some down. Then I'm coming in with my airbrush. It's one of these kind of cheap and cheerful ones that has the compressor attached to it. And I'm just using a titanium white ink. I probably should have put on gloves, but I'm so bad for just getting too excited and just going for it. So I usually end up with paint all over my hands by the end of these projects. But I think it gives a really nice highlight to everything. And it's a really good base for paint. Then for paint, I'm going to try use these glow-in-the-dark paints that I mentioned in the intro. I don't know how good they're going to be. I got them cheap off Amazon, the big bad, but they're supposed to glow in the dark. I'm just mixing up kind of purple for the mud, just because again we're going for that otherworldly look. So there's actually okay coverage with these. They're not the best. They're kind of, I don't even know how to describe them. They're pretty good. Like some of the colors have better coverage than other. You're definitely sacrificing some quality for the gimmick, but it's fine. For terrain, I think it works fine. Then I decided to paint the rocks blue to kind of give them a fun undercolor. I've actually painted a few buildings and stuff with blue underneath and then dry brush with a lighter blue, and it does kind of trick your brain into reading it as like a kind of rock that you're seeing at night or something. I don't know how to really describe. I think it looks very cool is basically what I'm trying to say. So when I saw the blue glow in the dark paint, I thought it'd be perfect. Now the glowing effect only really ends up working for a few colours, so you could probably avoid using these for the whole bit of terrain if you were to do it. Probably come out a little bit nicer, but still. And then yeah, the pink had terrible coverage, so I just really layered it on and left it quite thick. In hindsight, probably white primer or something lighter would have been better, and the ink isn't really doing enough for these like neon paints. I'm using a lot of 3D printed plants from Loot Studios that I had, so it's kind of a cop out for, you know, scratch building terrain and stuff, but I just thought they looked really cool and wanted to use them. Now I'm just going in and painting all the leaves with the neon green. I've also painted the mushrooms and stuff. And then this is a quick test of the lighting effect. Now I'm going to make the Feywild flocking. So just using some sawdust that I get from work, sieving it to get all the chunky bits out, leaving only the fine sawdust. And then I'm going to divide it into 3 cups. So I'm going to try is the important word here. I basically fight with this flocking to try to get it how I look, but it doesn't end up working. So I started with how I start most of my flocking, with a green. And you can see that actually looks quite nice. Again, I'm using the glow in the dark paints just to see if maybe the glow effect will come through, was my thought process. So now I'm using pink to try to get some kind of like flecks of flowers or something while it's put down. This was my thought process anyway, you'll see how it worked out. But I think it's important to kind of show the process, even though I'll give you a hint that it doesn't end up working. So I kind of have my minced meat and my green, and I try and mix that together, and quickly you can see that the tiny flecks just basically turn it like brown. And I added yellow, thinking that would look interesting, and now it just looks completely beige, horrible colour. Well, could be useful for something, but horrible for what I'm trying to do of Feywild. So I was like, okay, let me try fix this. I'll get my more opaque colours that I use for flocking. So I made a really light green, you know, green it back up, that'll be good, that'll solve the problem. Oh, and then, oh yeah, of course, yeah, a yellow cup, and sure, throw a bit of the neon yellow in, John, yeah, that'll sort it out. So, mixed all them up, and then I got pink again, added a bit of red, maybe it wasn't dark enough. So basically what I've done here, if you can't tell, is I've done the exact same colour combination and expected it to look different, which in hindsight is very funny, because obviously it's just going to look brown again. So then I was like, oh, this will liven it up, let me add more pink and purple, that'll tilt it into Feywild. It's so bad. So I gave up on that and turned the camera off, had a big sad moment. So yeah, that's no good, if you couldn't tell. So I went, and then this time I made a much more Feywildy looking flocking, and how I did that was I just used just blues and a purple. So very kind of blue toned, but it looks like way more of what I was going for. I think my brain just got caught up in, oh, it has to be grass, so put green in there. But yeah, the just blue colours worked out much better. So now I'm just using a clear PVA glue, because I find when it dries it leaves less residue than white glue, and then just sprinkling it on. And then that's it in the blue lights. You can see a little bit of the glow effect coming through, especially on the rocks and all. I think the blue kind of shows up. But that's them done. I'm really happy with how they came out, and my players absolutely loved them, because I had them set up and everyone was like, oh, they're really cool, like, and impressed with it. I also made a little gate portal thing off screen but they were really impressed and thought it was very cool. But then when we got into combat and I flicked off the lights and put the blue lights on, it just added a new level. So I think the glow in the dark gimmick works really well, especially if I have a little blue ripple light and then these big kind of pillar LED lights. I just put them all to blue. Well, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. I just wanted to give like a quick kind of channel update or whatever. But because I actually started filming this video like a couple of months ago and only finishing it now, but it's done now. But I've recently moved out, so I'm in an apartment and all now. So hopefully that will mean I'll be able to make more videos more consistently, is my hope. And I have some fun ideas down the line, like playing games with friends and kind of making videos about that, and kind of like game reviews and stuff. But if that's something you're interested in, definitely stick around. I really appreciate you watching, as I said. And just even though I've been away for a good while and not really making anything, it's been really cool to just see every now and then, again, a notification that I've gained a new subscriber, and then my Box of Doom video is nearly at like 500 views, which is just very kind of cool to see. So I'm really enjoying making these videos, and I do want to try just get more consistent at it, just because, as I said, like I enjoy it. I do like sharing these things. So yeah, just wanted to basically say thank you for watching, and yeah, please stick around if this kind of interests you. Obviously I plan to get better as I go, and yeah, thanks so much. Bye.